Welcome
Welcome
to
to
Shade
Shade
in the
in the
City.
City.
I'm your girl, Treese,
It's Nels.
and today we are getting into our review of 90 Day the Other Way, Season 4, Episode 3. I never seem to have, the title already what I needed, but it's Episode 3. If you have not already, please make sure that you hit the like button.
And the subscribe button.
And y'all, let's get into it. And as I told Nels, we meet our newest fool, and I guess I'm not supposed to call her a fool because she's a sweet little old lady, but
I love her.
she a fool. But let's get into it and let's get shady. So Chris is excited. She's about to arrive in Bogota, Colombia to meet the love of her life, Jamie. Now, Jamie is also so nervous on the way to the airport to meet Chris. They finally do meet and they do the epic what we see. They actually didn't do the run through the airport, which we usually see. They did the airport spin. Okay. They did the airport spin.
Their embrace was probably the most emotional one I've seen on 90 Day.
I did say they embraced. I didn't know if it was emotional. I don't think I caught. But was she crying? Was she like breaking down?
It was emotional, it was passionate, it was, normally it's like in the movies, the
Yeah,
run,
that's what I'm saying. You run through the airport.
yo, theirs was like we don't give a damn who's around, F the cameras.
Well, they were
Because
definitely giving that later. But yeah, so Chris talks about how Jamie is a little shorter in person, but she loves it. And Jamie thinks everything about her is perfect and she's everything that she imagined. So, okay, girl. Different strokes, different folks. Anyway, now Chris and Jamie are on their way to their new home. Apparently, she let Jamie pick out their place without any input from her, so she's not really sure what to expect. It is $100 over their budget. However, she wanted to make sure she had a nice kitchen, and just basically updated amenities. So obviously that's gonna cost some updated money.
I wish we could get that here for an extra $100.
I know, right? So Chris warns her again about her narcolepsy and that she may get kicked in the middle of the night.
And I think she's
I'm gonna
also
get into
mentioned,
that later.
I think she also mentioned her night terrors.
Yes, she has night terrors. Um, and then they both get into their lingerie and they kick out the cameras for their much anticipated alone time. And that was pretty much Chris and Jamie wrapped in a nice little bow. Now, what I will say is that I think Chris is not being genuine about everything that is wrong with her. And I think that we're going to see that play out. And that's going to be one of the factors, but among, I'm sure, other
Because she's
things.
starting to scare me. Like, I listen, if
It's like
Jamie,
my neck, my back, my narcolepsy. It's a lot.
I mean, you talking about kicking me in the middle of the night, you talking about night terrors, you already talking about the narcolepsy. Like, you got a lot going on, lady.
A lot.
It's moving day for Jen. She's nervous, she's excited, and she's really not trying to dwell on the messages, that her friends told her about, of course,
I
because
don't
she's
think there was anything really there though that would warrant me breaking
I
up and everything.
that's what I said. I don't feel like it was really anything. He asked, do I know you or something like that, and she said no or whatever. She wasn't in the area, so it was like, okay,
Right.
well, we can't work together. So and he left it at that. So, now she's also trying to ignore all her family's warning signs. Because she just want to go see her man. She
She's
don't want to hear
determined. It is what it is.
she
She
don't
gonna
want to hear
make
nothing
money.
nobody got to say. Now, apparently, Rishi has gotten a separate apartment for Jenny that she'll be staying at
Not
because
Jenny, Jen.
Jen,
You
oh,
over here making her real life Jenny. She ain't even that mature yet.
for
But it does
Jen.
remind us of Jenny.
Jen, because it's frowned upon in India for them to stay together. Basically, her brother just feels like she's making a horrible decision. And they're still trying to talk her out of it on the way to the airport. Now, Jen has finally touched down in India. And she says this time is different because she's here to stay. Okay. And she said it's something different about that Indian air. Like, she know that she's like, I'm home. Shit. Okay. Um, Rishi lives in Jaipur, which is about 6 hours away from Delhi. So she's gonna check into a hotel for the night and finish her journey tomorrow. I don't give a damn how far the airport is away from you, sir. You
Okay.
best be here to meet me, and we stayed in this hotel together, and we're gonna finish the journey tomorrow together.
Right.
Otherwise, I ain't coming because this journey from here to India was way longer than 6 hours, sir. You got me messed up. So Rishi,
At least I will give him credit. At least he got an apartment for her separate
he ain't
versus
had no choice because they can't live together.
Samit did it with Jenny, moved her right up in the house and
Because
was
he moved, but
doing it. It was doing it right under his mama's nose.
he had to.
That's why
Oh,
she
well,
don't like Jenny now.
they did it as friends though, didn't they, or something like that?
They
Listen,
were like, "Oh, this is my friend," when she knew she was really
but maybe look, Rishi, like my mama is not as gullible as that.
okay.
So Rishi, it looks like at this time, maybe when she landed or something, he was with his family, where he said his mother, brother, aunt, uncle, and cousin live. It's 5 of them in the house. He says a few years back, his father passed away, so he had to become the main key person in the household and take on all the responsibilities. Now he says he's super excited for Jen to finally move to India, but his family doesn't know. So his mama over here trying to hook him up with another proposal that she invited for the girl to come tomorrow. Telling him just take 5 minutes out your day, boo. Take a look at her, showing her phone and all types of stuff. Rishi says that he doesn't want to share any of this, that his mom is trying to do with
Because
Jenny.
we
I mean,
know
with Jen.
Jen is not emotionally stable.
Yeah, he was like, she'll cry and be all sensitive. We know she'll send videos of her tears and all types of stuff. So he ain't trying to go through all that. But he feels also that she doesn't want her to worry, that he doesn't want her to worry about anything because he does want to marry her. It's his future wifey. He says he knows that he needs to face his family and tell them, that he's already engaged. But he's also worried that his family won't accept her as a bride, especially because of the cultural difference and the huge age gap.
I'm just gonna take a wild guess that from listening to you, because I feel like your notes are much different than my notes. You actually sound hopeful for this because my
Um,
notes are not that. They're very pessimistic.
I'm not hopeful. It's just that he sounds hopeful. So I'm getting the
Oh,
hope from his voice.
oh, from his point of view is how. Okay.
Yes, he's hopeful
Oh, okay.
that, he can lie and bring his fiance there and not tell anybody and keep it a secret that his mom is trying to hook him up with a whole nother fiance and, that now his family will still accept her with the cultural difference and age gap. This is his hope. I'm being, I'm expressing his hope.
All of the things.
Advocate for Rishi.
Oh, you're advocating. I definitely. So we see Isabel. She is meeting up with her friends Mateo and Samuel, and is a little anxious that Gabe will be arriving in Colombia in a few days, not just to visit, but live with her permanently. Now, apparently, Samuel was the one that introduced her and Gabe. Samuel says that he met Gabe as a tourist and made him basically a part of his friend group. And then it got real crazy. And I don't want to say real crazy, it just got real personal. They deep dive into their sex life and exactly what goes on in their bedroom. And if you would like to hear about it, you are more than welcome to watch the show. So all of this, all I know is that she's happy, she's satisfied. Everything works. Now, they asked her about, if her son knows about Gabe, and she says no, but she thinks that he'll be okay and a little bit, accepting because obviously she raised him and she knows like he's not that type of, little boy or whatever. Now, her father, on the other hand, is a different story. And she is a little bit concerned about that and hopes that, as we know, she doesn't have to end up choosing between her family or her man. So then Gabe and his sister, I forgot her name.
Monica.
Go ahead, Nels. So Gabe and Monica are on their way to the airport. He's, obviously nervous, but ready. And his sister is just hoping that Isabel is everything that she says she is. She asks if he's worried their relationship will change, or if they'll become estranged with the distance in between them. And he's like, really? Like, I would never let that happen. I know you would never let that happen. So obviously we ain't got to worry about that happening. She brings up an ex that he had, and how that didn't work out because the family wanted nothing to do with him, is how I understood it, when they learned that he was trans. So he never got an opportunity to really know them, and he fears the same thing might happen with Isabel's family as well. But he said he's doing this because he feels like Isabel is worth the risk. And I thought it was cute.
Nicole and Mahood, her parents come over to help her move yet again. Her dad expresses concern about her moving back to Egypt. He feels he doesn't know his family and she's moving somewhere that, he can't get to if she needs help. Period. Apparently, this girl is so private that even her parents found out on Facebook that she got married.
I wouldn't call that private. I would call that sneaky, but okay.
Yeah, I guess you're right. She says that she thinks they wouldn't mind having an American wedding because their wedding didn't really, their wedding was different, to say the least. Apparently, they went to the Justice Department, but then the uncle told them in order for them to stay the night together, they had to do it the Islamic way. And she said that they crashed somebody else's wedding where they literally like had their cake and everything at the table and kind of like took it over and then got married.
I am so upset I don't have a red flag right now or a big stop sign. I'm gonna order that. Amazon, it's coming. I'm gonna order that.
She also just like now, like in this episode, let her parents know that she converted to Islam. Makes it even worse because now she wishes she would have done her research ahead of time.
Oh yeah,
And
because she
feels
thought you just say some
feels
words.
now that she's suffering the
Christianity.
consequences. And basically she just doesn't know anything that she's supposed to do, what she's supposed to be following. She just feels that there's new rules all the time. I just feel like really you could have been doing your research now. I mean, you plan on going back, you could have been taking this time to do your research now, but teach
She's
their
like,
own.
I don't even know how to shop in the grocery store. I can't. I so you should have been learning Egyptian. Not saying that it's just that easy, but I mean, with all these apps, Babbel and Scrabble and everything else going on, you would have thought you would have tried something by now, but that's just my thoughts.
So we meet Mahmoud, who is 30. He's from Egypt, Cairo. He's a manager for a fabric store that he's been at for over 12 years. I mean, at least we know he's committed in that way. He says the best thing that happened in his life was working there and meeting his wife. He says she's amazing and he loves everything about her. They just come from different worlds. The most important thing to him, what? He says the most important things to him
Is his faith.
is his
I have his faith.
Okay. I don't know why this says versus religion. I don't know. Is his religion and second is his family. He says because when you do what God wants, you get everything you want. And God says without God, he would have never met Nicole. And he's just excited that she's coming back to Egypt. He says that he really didn't think she would ever come back after the last fight. It got really heated, it got really nasty, and it started over clothes. But anytime they talk about clothes, go left. I mean, just be like that. So there was some guys with him. I'm gonna say his mentors.
No, those were his brothers.
They were actually his brothers.
Mhm.
I didn't think they were actually his brothers because I don't know. They said something later, but okay. So his brothers.
No, they just said that he's the youngest brother, but they said that they have kids like his age. Like they feel like he could be more like their son because they have kids his age.
Okay. All right. Well, basically, they said, that he's never really had an experience like with a woman like this. So, he's acting with no expertise and he was expecting a lot of changes in a short amount of time,
Mhm.
which I can respect that. I can understand that, I guess Mahmood was kind of expecting her to jump right in, learn the faith and, take it
And
up
I
with
like what the
her.
brother said. He is responsible for actually being the one that should be teaching her and
Hmm.
kind of offering guidance versus just you can't do this, you can't do that.
Hmm. I think he even said that with him and his wife that was from China, their culture is different as well. And the first 2 years he said was war. Um, but says that they had a common goal and they had to work on themselves. So I guess basically he's basically saying that he just needs to explain and educate her on her religious obligations, um, and help her see the benefits, so that she wants to do it, basically, rather than you telling her what to do. And he said that,
That would be perfect if she didn't view it as it's the most terrible thing. Because, like she said, she's upset that she got to pray all day. She's upset that, like, she feels like like her life is being controlled now, and
yeah,
everything
but
is
it's it's
about
it's
being a
it's
Muslim.
different.
So
It's
I don't think
different.
I get what the brother is saying, and I
Yeah,
absolutely
he's
agree.
saying to read to her as to why you're supposed to pray all day, what benefits will come when you pray all day and when you pray,
Okay,
versus saying, hey, it's time to pray. Hey, it's time to pray. Hey, it's time to pray. And then it looks like, okay, we just got to pray all day. He's saying to read it basically from the Bible and explain why we
wouldn't have
pray
been
all day.
like you said.
These are
Okay,
the benefits that you receive when you do it, is
okay.
what he's saying. So, he said he thinks this is a great approach. He plans to take this approach. Now Nicole, back in California, right? Yeah, she's in California.
Yeah.
Okay. She has been staying in a hotel with her parents since she let the apartment go. And now they are about to head to the airport so she can go to Egypt. Nicole says she's excited to see her husband, but she's also nervous for all the reasons that it didn't work out last time. Her family lets her know that they just feel like, she's the one making all the sacrifices and they, is making them really resentful about that and feels like he's asking for a lot. And Nicole basically explains that she's the only one that can. So think of it that way. He can't do the things that he's requesting of her. So she doesn't mind. She doesn't mind doing it. But Nicole says that she feels that he's worth all the sacrifices that she's making, even this time around. So, she believes
Until
things
she
will
gets
get
to the airport.
basically. She believes things will get better this time around, and they'll do better with their communication. So she says her goodbyes. She hops on a plane. She is headed to Egypt. Now, Mahmood, boss ass, is riding in a car with his cousin because he can't drive. I'm starting to notice this is a trend here
Right.
on 90 Day. Um, but his cousin is driving him to the airport. Nicole is finally off of her 15-hour flight. She sees her husband. She's super excited. Of course, they hug, they embrace what she didn't even think she was allowed to do. He lets her know,
I
what?
thought that was actually kind of a little low key shade
What?
because, like he says, she likes to complain. And so the first thing for her to say when she embraces him, oh, I hope I don't get arrested. I thought it was a little shady. That's how I took it. You didn't need to say that. You could have just hugged or say, am I allowed to do this? It wasn't, she was being shady. That's just my opinion. Because what was it? Aggressively passive.
He lets her know that they can embrace in the airport. It's pretty normal. Just, not outside of there. Um, Now he sees all the bags, gets excited that she's actually here to stay because he says he was a little concerned. He was like, you quick to change your mind. I feel like he didn't have to say that either. But
You
they
did
both
need to
be
say that.
they both be taking shots at each other.
That's what I'm saying. They are a tit for tat couple.
Uh-huh.
It's very toxic. They don't need to be together. I'm looking for all this love that they claim they have. But go ahead.
Before they walk outside, Mahood tells her she needs to close up her jacket. Um, and of course, she get pissed off. She's just like, that was rude. I'm not sure how it was rude. Maybe he could have said, "Can you please close up your jacket?" I don't know. But basically, initially, I didn't understand why he wanted her to close up her jacket either because
Until
I
she
thought,
told us why. And then I was
yeah,
like, we
okay.
may think it's crazy, but in their culture, it
To
makes
me,
sense.
it actually made sense once she explained it because looking at her, because we could only see from with the waist up, I felt like she was fully clothed. She had a turtleneck on. Like I thought she looked really great and completely covered up. I was like, okay, she came there to respect, his culture. What's the problem? But
What
apparently
right.
it was her pants, her camel toe was showing and it needed to be covered up. So I completely understood.
I was gonna say I'm
And
over here in America, and let me tell you, my man would have an issue with my camel toe being exposed. Okay.
well, she's hoping that coming back wasn't a mistake. Since this crap started as soon as she landed.
We meet our newest fool. Nels is in disagreement.
We're not go
Debbie,
first. Boo.
good old Debbie from Sugar Hill, Georgia. She looks like she could be Angela's better looking non-smoker cousin, is what I have in my notes.
I think yeah, she's cute. I like her.
Sells, no, she is cute. She sells jewelry and loves to collect antiques and be surrounded by beautiful things. She has been divorced twice, and her second marriage ended after 23 years because her husband was cheating on her with a woman from a different country. Ooh, so she said that, this made her lose herself for a while. She swore off men for 12 years and then she met Usama. Okay. Um, is it Usama?
Osama.
Okay, what Osama. Because it's spelled with a U, I think. Anyway,
Uh,
she,
oh,
I feel like they spell, maybe I'm wrong. So she met him on social media. He's an artist as well and does poetry. She said he kept messaging her and he was like a tree that took root in her heart. How nice. They did meet before in person, but she didn't realize how young he was. She tried to end it, but he told her, age was nothing but a number. We learned he's 24 years old. I don't even know how old she is.
did she not? She's 67.
Oh, okay. So she's 67, he is 24, but she says she loves him. She's only been to Morocco to see him twice, the 3 years of them being together. So I will give them that. At least there's some longevity there. He's playing the long game. Okay. And he asked her to come to Morocco so they can get married, and she plans to leave in 2 weeks. Now, her son Julian comes by as he often does. Julian is also a cop, and probably not the most trustworthy of random people. Now, she lets us know he's not a fan of their relationship. Her son tries to tell her that she's being used, and she tries to ask him, I just want you to give him a chance. And, he vows to find out what's going on before they get married because he knows that, or he highly doubts that this man is in it for love.
Last time we saw Danielle and Johan, she was being all nasty and mean to him about his butcher shop. So she finally did apologize.
Very nasty.
Huh?
It was very nasty, y'all. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I
she
I really don't.
apologized for getting so angry and frustrated. Um, Basically they came to an agreement, sort of kinda an agreement that they were gonna give it 9 months. And if the business wasn't making no money, they would close it down. But I think she's like, you know, this is like she's sure that this is a 9 month agreement. He's not so sure. He said basically they'll see where they're at. So they basically go to
Let me ask
find.
her, where's your money?
What do you mean?
Danielle over here telling him how he should manage his money and he has to close down in 9 months. But ma'am, do we really need to talk about how you out here with, I think it, what was it, 200,000 in an easy pass, and you filing bankruptcy, but I just really don't like that.
She ain't worried about that. She's worried about her new life.
Oh, her new life, because she ran away from the old life.
And in DR, she's worried about her new life in DR. Okay. So basically now they are going to find her perfect apartment. And they do see one. The realtor lets them know that it's $2,000 a month, which is 106 thousand pesos. And basically Johan said that he'd be able to help her with 5,000 pesos. She said that's $90, and we eat that for breakfast. And he basically tells her, okay, well, I told you I can't afford it. And she's basically like, okay, so I guess you're gonna cook, you're gonna clean, you're gonna be my wife.
Mm.
And he's like, well, over here, that's not really how it works. Basically you work inside the house, and the man is supposed to work outside the house, and you're supposed to cook and you're supposed to clean. And he's like, oh, and she's like, okay, what are you supposed to do? Basically pay the bills. And he didn't answer that. So what he said instead was, let's go look for other options. I don't know what the hell you're going to find for 5,000 pesos in DR, in a place to live that is going to be suitable for someone who's used to all the American
Amenities. And
amenities that we have.
it has a 10-day, I'm sorry, a 10-step skincare regimen.
So yeah, good luck with that.
Good luck. That was it, guys.
That's everybody.
Yeah, that was everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to another review of 90 Day the Other Way, season 4, episode 3. If you have not already, please make sure that you hit that like button,
You comment,
you subscribe,
and you hit the notification bell.
And guys, thank you so much for following us on every platform: TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, IG. We see the growth. We appreciate it. And like I said, if you're not already subscribed, I need you to do so. But yes, it's free. Nothing to you, but means everything to me. And it's Pisces season. So
I knew that was coming. I knew it was coming.
do it for the birthday girl one time. So yes, we will get off here. I will get this edited and hopefully get this out to you guys before the new episode comes on. And we will catch you next week for another review. Have a good night.
Good night.